Hi, this is John Hawkins with Gateway Counseling Center, and this is our Tuesday night YouTube Live. We do every Tuesday at 7:15, where we answer any questions that come in throughout the week, any questions that come in while I'm doing this. We have a public service to the community online, just anything that you need help with, any information you want, any questions about your particular situation, a friend situation, family members. We're here every week to answer any questions you might have in regards to that. You can reach me throughout the week at John H at gatewaycounseling.com. Also at the Mind Zone group on Facebook, Gateway Counseling Center on Facebook. We also have Gateway Center on Instagram. So you can reach us on any of those platforms, DM me on Instagram, all throughout the week, so I'll respond to any other questions. So my name is John Hawkins Jr. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and performance expert. I work and specialize with all types of trauma, anxiety disorders, addictions, couples therapy, and performance work, like I said, with entrepreneurs, athletes, people trying to hit their peak levels of performance. So tonight, I had a lot of questions come in throughout the week in relation to what's known as ambivalence. And so this is a big part of therapy and helping somebody is learning how to tip the scale of ambivalence. So for those of you who don't know that word, maybe aren't familiar with it, it's when you have two contrasting feelings or more at the same time. So I could, love this person, but another part of me wants to punch them in the face, or I, really want to get the body I want with, the health I desire, but I love chocolate cake or craft beers. And so I'm conflicted, right? And so to some degree, when people come into psychotherapy, they are stuck by and large. Like a common thing could be the relationship issues that people bring in, where maybe they're in an unhealthy or dissatisfying relationship, but then there's also the pain of like, well, if I leave it, that opens up a whole new window, a whole bunch of other circumstances, things like that are going to be challenging, pain for me. So I'm kind of stuck between two pains. There's also, looking at whether it's eating, alcohol, spending. I'm conflicted. Part of me is like, oh, I don't have the money to spend this, but it feels so good to write up that credit card when the bill doesn't come in for a while yet. So there's this thing known as ambivalence, which is, again, these competing, conflicting feelings. So in helping somebody break out of that stuckness, I have to help them tip their ambivalence. So the fastest way to tip ambivalence is really through your core emotions. It's really to harness the pain on one side, like let's say the example I was just using of being stuck in an unhealthy relationship. So there's the pain of staying and there's the pain of leaving. So here's the stuckness. So, what the person will usually come in and they'll start talking to me about is they just, all these complaints about the person. He or she does this, they do that. What do you think they're thinking? How could they do that? Who does that? Da, 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 so I want to pull my hair out. What they're not telling me at all is what it's like to be them, how they're affected, what they're feeling being in this relationship. And so that's what I have to help them get connected to, is like to get off of him or her. What's it like to be you in the relationship where I'm talked to like this, neglected like this, betrayed like this? What does that feel like for me? What does that feel like right now as you're telling me? What does that feel like inside for you? And so when the person can start to get connected to how painful it feels to be them in the relationship, then you take the two stuck points, the pain over here of staying and the pain over here of leaving. Something has to give. As long as they're somewhat equal, or this one is bigger, they're going to stay stuck. So then when I get them connected to this starts to get so bad that the pain over here, they just blow right through that and break out of their stuckness. So I would say that's the most rapid way to break your ambivalence, is to really get connected to the pain that it's causing. Now, typically somebody can't do that on their own because the pain feels overwhelming. They start to break down, they get flooded. They're like, I don't think about this, I want to talk about it. Da, 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 da. Maybe the person was okay today, so I don't want to face the pain over here. So you need some help and support really getting connected. Plus, there's so many ways we defend against our emotions that they don't even know how to do that. They don't even realize they're defending to what degree, or some of the ways that they're actually doing it. So that's the fastest way. Another thing which became really prominent in the addiction field was they developed these things called the stages of change. So there's 5 stages. They would think that everybody who comes to treatment wants to get sober, which I can tell you as somebody who spent years working in treatment is not the case. A lot of people are there for reasons other than wanting to get sober. It could be just getting somebody else off their butt, could be appeasing a spouse, an employer. They just want to like rein it in and try to get to their use under control and management. So when they were assuming that everybody was there to get sober, it was very frustrating for therapists, clients, and people trying to help them when they didn't have the same agenda. So they, through research, developed 5 stages that people go through. So it doesn't just apply to addiction, but to any change, you know, whether it's, again, I want to change my weight or health or this relationship, whatever it may be, things, aspects of myself. So the first stage is called pre-contemplation. So what this means is I'm doing what I'm doing and I don't really care about making any changes. There's no desire for change, no, you know, action steps to change. This is when you're just like, you know, I'm overeating, I'm drinking too much, I'm promiscuous, I'm whatever, and I could care less, right? So you're not going to have any impact on a person in this, you know, state of mind. Second stage is called contemplation. So this is where I'm still doing what I do, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't, you know, I'm like putting my job or my marriage at risk. I'm tired of like the health consequences of using drugs and alcohol. You know, the health aspects. Maybe I went to my physician and I'm obese, and he's saying like, look, you're going to get diabetes, you're right on the edge, or your family has history of heart disease. If you keep eating like this, it's, you know, you're probably going to die a premature death. So I'm still doing it, but I'm like, I don't, you know, I know this isn't so good. I need to make some changes. So now you're moving in this direction. The third stage is preparation. So maybe I haven't actually taken the action steps, but I take initial action steps. Like maybe I find a therapist, maybe I, you know, get a nutritionist, maybe, you know, I stop associating with some of the friends I have to limit some of my behavior, whatever that is. So now you're really starting to move towards making changes because you're actually taking steps, even though it's called preparation. The fourth stage is action. This is where I'm actually working on making changes. So maybe I enter treatment, maybe I start going to AA meetings, maybe I'm, you know, order Nutrisystem, or again, work one-on-one with a nutritionist. Maybe I'm, you know, actively joining a group, working on, you know, a couples therapy or whatever it may be, but I'm really working on my issues now. And then the fifth and final stage is maintenance. This is where, you know, I've accomplished my goals, I've gotten to this good place, but I'm doing action steps to maintain my gains, maintain what I've accomplished so I don't regress and slip back. So when you're working with someone at different stages, like particularly when I worked with you know, substance abuse, then you would help people start to identify and flag what moves me around those different stages, because I could go up and down in an hour. So an example is like, okay, maybe I come into treatment and I'm like, I got my 3rd DUI, or my wife said this is it, it's my last chance to get sober, or she's leaving. So I get a big motivator. I go to preparation, I enter treatment, I'm in action, but then, you know, I start to realize with the help of the staff that a lot of the use was associated with my employment. So I really look at it and say, gosh, to get sober, I'm going to have to leave this job. Maybe I make a lot of money at that job, or have a lot of friendships at that job, and the thought of leaving that is depressing, or brings up fear about finances, and I don't think I can do it now. And it pushes me back into pre-contemplation, where I'm like, I know this isn't like good, but I don't think I can't do it, you know, or I'm contemplation maybe, but I don't, you know, I lose hope and doubt. And so then, you know, there was a meaning, there was negative thoughts, there was whatever, once I came to this realization that I was gonna have to leave this job or start to open up and disclose the abuse I went through as a kid that I've never told anyone about. So really like keeping a beat on what moves me, what got me over to action and preparation, what sends me back here, and then getting help identifying that is not random. People just have this mentality all the time, like, I don't know. I can't tell you how the vast majority of people will say that, and then that's their finish line. I don't know. And you've got to be a little more tenacious than that if you want to make the positive changes and hit the goals you want to make in life and therapy, anywhere. Is why. Keep asking yourself, okay, why was I so motivated this morning and I'm so deflated this afternoon? It's not a fluke. There's specific reasons that move you this way or this way. So think of those 5 stages of change. Track them, start to notice because there's your ambivalence driver, you know, like I said. So the 2 main ways to tip the scale on ambivalence: number 1, harness pain, harness your core emotions. to get one bigger than the other so it will propel you. You know, I might be afraid of heights to jump from 20 feet, but if I've got flames burning on the back of my head in this apartment building, I'm probably going to jump, right? Because the pain of the flames has pushed me right out to make that jump. So that's how pain can be harnessed tremendously to make positive changes in your life, is to let yourself feel it so it pushes you through the other pain and the other fears that you have. Then the other areas is to start to look at what drives my ambivalence. Use that model, those stages of change, to see how it moves me around. So I hope you found that helpful. That's applicable to any area in your life you want to make changes in. You know, I would say probably one other area in tipping the scale in ambivalence is also when you have those different fears or anxieties or self-doubt, is to, on the positive side, to get this one that you want to achieve, obtain so big that it propels you over those other fears. So I guess I'm amending what I said: 3 ways: harness pain, have a positive vision that pulls you so far forward, and then also those stages of change are a really useful tool in tipping the scale in your ambivalence. So once again, if you benefited from this, if you think anybody you know could benefit from this, share it with them, tag them, whatever, you know, the platform you're using is how to send that on. And then contact me every week, like you do, John H. at gatewaycounseling.com, or any of our other platforms, Gateway Counseling Center on Facebook, Mind's Own Group on Facebook, Gateway Center on Instagram. You can find us in all those places. Email me directly or message me, DM me on any of those other platforms, and I'll respond to anything that you want me to respond to every week, Tuesday at 7:15. Have a great week. I enjoy answering your questions. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and share it. And I will see you guys next week.